What is up, YouTube? This is Hypergun, your chap with the cat, back again for another video, specifically the newest edition of Throwdown Thursday. Now, this is one I've actually been holding off for a little while, and I do apologize. This was another viewer-submitted one. This one was submitted by Tyler Gianchetta, or sorry, Tyler, if I butchered your name horribly. But this is one he actually submitted to me weeks ago, and I was planning on doing sooner, but I needed to do the DO one last week because that was the season finale of JoJo, and I had that one planned for months. So, again, Tyler, I'm sorry it took so long, but I did finally get to it. The request this time was for Hieratic Red Eyes, which, given all of the new Red Eyes support that they've been given, made sense. And it also kind of works around an interesting idea of something I did a little while ago with my Hieratic deck, which is Hieratic Sophia. Didn't work out that well, but what Tyler recommended to me was the new Red Eyes Ritual Monster. The one that's like Paladin for the Blue Eyes. I forget his name entirely, but he's a really good card. He's searchable with Manju and can be used as the entire tribute as well with him. So it just kind of made sense to give it a shot. Plus the Hieratic work with normal monsters, the Red Eyes monsters were normal monsters, and it just had overall really good synergy. So I decided, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'm not normally a big fan of Hieratic stuff. I love Red Eyes, but I've been doing a lot of stuff with him lately, and I'm kind of starting to see the diamond in the rough with him. But enough of my prattle. Let's go ahead and get started on this week's Throwdown Thursday. Alright, so this time I'm going to start off like I did with my last video request, since I did get a sample of their deck sent in. I'm going to show what Tyler had with his first. I only have one duel of his, and it was kind of a quickie, but it's still just a good kind of starting point. This is not the right side. I swear, one of these days it's going to have to start me off on the right side. Okay, so I'm going off against a Fortune Lady deck, which you don't see very often, if ever, honestly. But whatever, I can work past this. So he has this annoying card out here called Future Visions, which makes it so that a normal monster, when a monster is normal summoned, it's instantly removed from play, and then during the next standby phase, it comes back. So I didn't really feel like dealing with that just yet, so I decided, alright, I'll just wait for Fire to come back, not a big deal, and then I can just bring out Tefnui, and I can get past that whole thing. So he does that. And now, since I still have Convocation, I know I'll be able to search out the Sue that I need if I don't draw into it. But I get Maxi, which is kind of nice, so I go ahead, grab the Sue, do, you know, Hieratic stuff. Tefnui grabs Volval Chain. I didn't really realize what he had in this deck. I probably should have looked it over a bit better. I was expecting something a little bit better with the Volval Chain. All he had was a Black Rose, and I was not willing to Black Rose just yet, so I kind of just had that, but whatever. It's like I could have even really done anything because he had the swords revealing light anyway. I guess in hindsight I probably should have Black Rose, but whatever. Hindsight is 20/20. Anywho, I decided to go ahead and do this. I know Future Vision is going to kick in, but when he comes back, he's at least going to have the full 1900 as opposed to the usual 1000 when you normal summon him without tripping. And I still have Sue to kind of fend off these, you know, whatevers. He's just kind of building up a nice little army, knowing I can't really do anything. Well, I can't now. Unfortunately for me, he gets Fortune Lady frickin' Earth of all things and manages to just start going in for some damage. It's mostly because of Light's effect, where when it's removed from play, especially summon a Fortune Lady from the deck, so he decided to go ahead and get the big one. Unfortunately for him, I was I did have a way past this, so I just did a set stuff. Here is where I Black Rose. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm not taking any more chances with this. I'll just do that. I'm down by like half my life points, but it's not too bad. He sets up his second Future Visions and sets this thing. I don't believe he ever actually uses this, but whatever. So I miraculously get a Blackstone Legend. That goes away for a bit, but whatever. I'll get it back next turn, and then I can just bring out a Red Eyes. He unfortunately draws Fortune Lady Dark, who is too high of a level, so I'm going to go ahead and get my stone back. I now get to bring out regular Red Eyes, because he only runs regular Red Eyes in this. Can't say I blame him, but I don't know. My preferences lay elsewhere, I guess. So, yeah, at this point I'm... Oh, jeez, you do two of these things? Poor bastard. So yeah, I get to lay on some beats for a little bit, which is kind of nice. I decided to go ahead and do that, bring out BLS, and just pew pew swing till he's down to 200. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything else with him at this point, so. But it's hardly really an issue because he quit right there because there was nothing he could do. So that's my baseline. Let's see. Next, we're going to move on to some of my duels. This was my first duel with these, and it was it was sloppy if I'm being really, really nice about it. I did terribly, but this guy also did some weird things, so that's why I decided to save this one. Not because it was a good duel of skill, but just because some weird shit happened. So as you can see, I'm facing off against Dark Worlds, which inherently means I know I'm not going to be having fun, because I hate Dark Worlds with a burning passion. They're just the single most infuriating deck I have ever had the displeasure of facing. I do not care for them. The only reason I didn't activate my Torrential there is because I'm thinking, oh, I'll just activate Gores, but it's been so long since I used Gores, I forgot I have to control no cards, meaning no back row. So he got some damage off, whatever. He gets all this stuff, draws into another Grapha, and some more stuff. So at this point, I'm like, alright, this Gorse is not going to be able to help me. Let me just go ahead and draw two, see if I can get something better. Right as I draw into a Tefnut with the Sue I already had, it was just perfect. I, at this point, did not have anything other than the Red Eyes monsters, so I kind of miscalculated there a little bit. Again, this was my first one. It was just like 0.001 rough draft, so that was my own fault there, but whatever. I managed to work past this. So he Grephas the Grepha I stole with the big eye that I made out of an emergency soul charge. Gets another Grepha. I decide, nope, I am not dealing with that. He does that, gets back Grepha, then brings out Stardust. He has game, and he goes for Zombie Stein. Like, I don't think he did the math. He could have killed me right there, and instead he does something extremely stupid. This next move, just I cannot wrap my mind around it. So, just as a joke, I summon Esset, and he chains Zombie Stein effects, negating my effect and switching him to defense mode, making it so I can kill him. I cannot even begin to comprehend why he did that. It just, I don't even. But it was just so funny. I'm like, whatever. I don't even care when I lose at this point. That was hilarious. So he does all this, and this time he's actually going to do it correctly and make sure that he kills me instead of being an idiot. He gets all this. There's nothing I can really do, so I'm just kind of waiting for the inevitable. And then he brings back... If he did something stupid again, I would have laughed my ass off. But this time he learned his lesson, decided to stop showing off, and just finish me off. Again, this was like the very initial version of this deck, so I don't feel too bad about losing with it. It's whatever. Alright, so moving on, we now have not another duel that I did terribly well with. I think I lost this one too, but this one was mostly just because Hieratics have the unfortunate issue of bricking really hard, as do Red Eyes, because they both run really high level monsters. But here I actually got pretty lucky. And to start off with Manju, I already had the Dark Dragon Ritual I managed to get out. Knight of Dark Dragon is the name of the monster I couldn't remember earlier. Uses effect to get Red Eyes. He bottomlesses the Darkness Metal, so my plan was to do that and then just bring him back, as is the usual move with him, because he's stupid good. So I decided to Tefnut just so I have that. And this is when I realized what is going on. It's a Synchron deck. Just ignore all this in the hand for the confusing aspects. He goes for a Goyo. It's like, ah, shit, here we go. He's going to take my stuff. And he does. So that happened, but I'm not too worried about it. I still have the Raigeki should I need it. I draw into a Sue, which is kind of nice. I just decided to go ahead and do that so I can grab a Transmigration. Yes, dissimilar to what Tyler was doing, I actually decided, heck with it, I'm going to run Lord of the Red, because Lord of the Red is hilariously broken, as you will later find out. So all that happens. I just decided to go for the Gemini one. I like to still run Flare because I can still grab him with Hieratic Monsters effects. And when I do get off its effect, it is still pretty good. he decides to go for Gaia, or I should have realized at this moment what this deck was, but I was thinking, alright, I guess he just needed a level 6 beat or whatever. And normal monsters are immune to a lot of things, so understandable. Wasn't really anything I could do, so I was like, forget, let's just soul charge so I have some level of field presence and can actually make a decent play. So I go for Blackstone, just go ahead and get regular Red Eyes. I use Sue with Tefnuit to do, you know, that. I just did get the Red Eyes so I could go for a Draco Sack. I did have Labradorite at this point, but I didn't really have any level 6s that could help me as much, and I just figured Draco Sack would be the safer option. As I soul charged, I couldn't attack, so that's why he got off without the beats. Decided to call the Haunted his magical android, which confused me a little bit. Brought out TG Striker, Godscrap Archfiend, and this is where I realized what the deck was. This is a normal synchro fusion deck. The first one he got was Gaia Drake the Universal Force. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by the effects of effect monsters. My Draco Sack was worthless at this point. I could do nothing. All I did was just build up defenses to prolong the inevitable. And it was inevitable. At this point, there was really nothing I could do. I mean, I could have summoned Manju and got out Lord of the Red, but he wouldn't have been able to do anything, because the only way I could have gotten rid of Gaia Drake with him would have been to have used his effect, and that wouldn't have helped me. So I had options for things to do, but it was pointless, because I couldn't do anything realistically. I could make moves, but I would still have a Gaia Drake on the field that I couldn't do anything about. So then he uses another Miracle Synchro to get out Ultimate Axon Kick. I was like, well, that's it then. I can't really do anything, because he's going to get the piercing through, gain crap ton more life points than he needs, and then finish me off with Gaia Drake. This one decently showed off what the deck can do, but not really, like, at its peak. This is more just, like, kind of showing what the deck is capable of. This last one really does show the deck when it blossoms. Oh, no, not this one, I'm sorry. Last one will be just kind of like a fun little finale. So, I'm actually doing a mirror match here against another Hieratic player. I didn't quite realize that just yet. So here I decided, alright, let's just have a little bit of fun, go for Strike Bouncer, just, you know, kind of be safe. So, at this point he plays Seal Combination, like, oh, so that was kind of when I realized it was a mirror match, of sorts anyway. The Armed Dragon confused me a little bit, as did his choice for an attack position Wattail, but I don't argue. I just kind of assumed this guy may have been new to the deck, didn't understand it quite that well. Or maybe he had some hidden tech I didn't know about, I don't know. He decided to warning my Esset of all things, but I personally would have waited for the big monster coming out, but to each their own. So I just go ahead and blow up the Wattail, get off free 2700, because he attacked it in attack mode. This was just for a last. I activated the Book of Moon on his Armed Dragon level 5, just in case the dude didn't understand how Book of Moon worked. Obviously he doesn't, because he keeps it face down instead of flipping it face up in order to, you know... Actually, no, I guess he probably should have, because like his discards wouldn't help them at all. And unfortunately the dude kind of rage quit there. However, with this, I can just let you guys know, I would have been able to get him out, I would have gone for Red Eyes, and I would have brought him back immediately, meaning I could have done a lot of punching and presumably have ended him right there. But that was it for that one. Now for our grand finale, I'm going to show the absolute craziest I ever got with this deck. You guys might have noticed a lot of rage quitting here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. So, right off the bat, I wasn't sure what to make of this guy. I figured he was just a, you know, Lightsworn player. Only now do I realize he's not, because he has Slifer in his hand. However, during this duel, I found out slightly differently that this is not the typical one. Just because of what... that. He ends with Raw. I was thinking, why Raw of all things? I'm guessing Creator God is somewhere in here, because if he has Slifer there too, that'd be the only logical thing I could think of, because no one runs Raw. Because I'm just having a fun first turn here. I go for Transmigration, get Lord of the Red, Tefnuit's effect kicks in, I get Labradorite so I can banish it for Red Eyes. Red Eyes effect then kicks in, I bring out Blackstone, Blackstone kicks in, I use Lord of the Red's effect to chain and destroy the electromagnetic turtle, and get regular Red Eyes. And then I just kind of go in. Unfortunately, Turtle had other plans, but I digress. Point is, I got off a hilariously good field first turn. So he brings out Lila, attempts to do Lila on my back row, but Lord of the Red said no. Because Lila requires her to switch to defense mode first, since my chain activated first, I was able to get rid of it before she could get rid of my Book of Moon. At this point, I was just kind of... I forgot that I had already done the attacks that thing. Obviously, there wasn't anything else you could do, but I just kind of liked how quickly I got all that off. That's really all I got for it. Unfortunately, a lot of the duels where I was doing really, really well, again, people were just constantly rage quitting on. It made it very difficult to get any of the good duels. Those were pretty much the best I could do. But it was still actually a lot of fun doing that. I love the idea. Tyler, I give kudos to you, man. That was actually a really good deck idea, using the Ritual Red Eyes engine with Hieratics. It meshed together perfectly, and when it didn't clog, it went off amazingly well. So, again, I applaud you for that one. That was an awesome deck idea. And that's all I got for you guys, though, in terms of Throwdown Thursday for this week. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this a good duel? Could I have done a little bit better? Is there some cards I probably should have thrown in there? Is there any decks you'd like to see me do in future segments of Throwdown Thursday? I love doing the ones from my viewers. It lets me test my skills as a duelist and really find out just how some of these decks work. It's a lot of fun to do, so just let me know down in the comments below what you think, what I should do, all that good stuff. Of course, don't forget to also like and subscribe to my channel, and until next time, peace.